What if I told you that one of the most disturbing videos ever captured wasn't found on a dark highway? It wasn't taken in the middle of nowhere, but inside an elevator in the middle of a city full of people. And what if I told you that the person in that elevator was already dead before anyone knew she was missing? Los Angeles, 2013, the Cecil Hotel, a place with a reputation, a place with a past. Serial killers stayed there. People jumped from its windows. Stories stacked on stories, like bodies in a file nobody wants to open. But this one's different. Because this story has a video, not recreated, not dramatized, but actual footage released by the police. Footage that millions of people have watched, and still nobody can explain. Her name was Eliza Lamb, a 21-year-old student traveling alone, documenting her trip like so many people do. Nothing unusual, nothing strange, until the last place she was ever seen. Inside that elevator, the footage starts normally. She steps in, presses a button, and waits. And then she presses more buttons and more, like she's trying to make every floor light up. But the doors don't close. They just stay open. And that's when everything changes. She steps forward, leans out, looks down the hallway, then jumps back inside like something just scared her. Now she's hiding. But from what? There's no one there. The cameras in the hallway and the cameras in the hotel pick up nothing. No one enters the frame. No one walks by. But she reacts like she's not alone. She starts gesturing, talking to something that we can't see. Her hands move strange and unnatural, like she's explaining something or pleading. And then she steps out and she's gone. That was the last time anyone saw her alive. Days pass. No sign, no calls, no messages, nothing. And then guests at the hotel started complaining. The water tastes strange, smells bad, pressure drops, maintenance gets called. They go to the roof, to the water tanks, and then they open one and they find the body. They find her. Floating inside, decomposing inside a tank that should have never been possible to access. It should have technically been impossible to access. The hatch. Heavy, alarmed, and the doors were bugged. Camera footage everywhere. No forced sign of opening, no clear way she got in. And here's where it gets worse. The elevator footage, some say it was altered. Time doesn't move right. Frames seem to be off. And the door behaves wrong. The elevator door literally opens, closes, and when the door gets to the top where she's supposed to be getting off on the floor that it pinpoints, no one ever gets off the elevator. It was just recording. It wasn't just recording her. It was recording whatever happened. So what happened in that elevator? Was she running from someone? Was she hallucinating? Or was she reacting to something that wasn't supposed to be there? Because here's the truth. Nobody's ever given a definite answer. Not the police, not the hotel, nor the internet. And that video is still out there, still watched, still unexplained. Tonight, we're going to go deeper into the Cecil Hotel and other accounts and other stories such as this one that about people vanishing and the footage and the theories that people don't like to talk about. We're going to talk about other vanishing scenarios and other instances where people go missing without any explanation. Because some stories from the road don't happen on the road at all. And once you see that elevator video, you'll never watch it the same way again. Because sometimes we hear these stories, and sometimes they're stories or tales from the road. What's up, everybody? It is 3/26/2026, and I'd like to welcome back Tadpole Trucker. Welcome back to the show, brother.
What's up, buddy?
Just had a baby, and L29 in the house as always. Guys, we're gonna dive into these vanishings. Now, you guys hear the story, and that's absolutely the story of Eliza Lamb. Now, what's your thoughts on that? I want to hear, guys. I want to hear your reactions. I want to hear what you think about that, and what's your mind process about that? How they found her, how they found the body, all that stuff. I want to hear what you think.
I think that with that particular story, it's almost like when we were talking about the Mandela effect. Like you were there, but you wasn't there. Like the time shift thing. It's almost like it's part of that theory, you know. It's weird and confusing at the same time.
Well, that's definitely possible. I think there may be definitely mysterious and maybe even malicious spirits at play. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Malicious spirits. I mean, it's something that's we can't explain, which makes it even more scary because we don't know what the hell it actually is. We can't explain why it's doing whatever the hell it's doing. So,
well, the thing is the death of Eliza. What if you watch the video, and I've seen it, and I'll even share a link on our Facebook group page. The thing is she sits there, she looks at something, her hands do all this weird stuff. She's talking to someone, she's acting afraid, she's trying to get away from something. She hides in the elevator, creeps out, looks, but there's cameras everywhere. This entire the footage catches every angle, every which way. The footage shows that she's literally looking down the hallway. She's scared, she's afraid, she doesn't know what's happening, but then there's nothing there, you know what I mean? And so then she winds up in this water tank, and the thing about the water tank is it's got like a 500-pound lid. It's got bolts, it's got alarms, there's an alarm on the door, there's cameras on the roof. Nobody ever sees anything about how she gets on the roof or anything. It's really a random thing. And then the fact that her body was in there for days and days and days and days. And the lid was open when they found her body, but this woman is literally really small. She's a very small lady. They also checked her for sexual assault. There's none. She wasn't a victim of sexual assault or rape or anything. The people are saying that it was an accident. It ruled an accidental death, but at the end of the day, when the elevator came to the top, why didn't we see her? Where was she at? Why didn't she get off the elevator? A. B. How come the alarms didn't go off on the roof? I mean, this thing's wired. I think there was some supernatural presence here, and somehow something was after her, and she could see something that we couldn't see. And if you watch this video, it's very scary, and it's very eerie, and it almost reminds me like how people react when they're possessed. And I'm wondering if she might have been possessed. I mean, honestly, because the way she looked in this video was absolutely terrifying. And she was definitely pointing and talking at something, and something wasn't there. You guys, what is your theories about maybe she was possessed or afflicted, anything like that?
excuse me.
From what I've read about this particular case, it is noted that she had been diagnosed with bipolar and depression which, from my understanding of those mental illnesses, and as well as my own spirituality, mental illnesses and spirituality together, it's you could see beyond the realm, and there may be some overlap there where she was seeing in the other realm. You say possession, which is possible, because some of these mental illnesses can really have a really hard grip on someone, and they have little to no control of what they see or do.
Thoughts, Tadpole?
I definitely agree with that. And these mental illnesses can take a hold, but why would it? Why would it? Don't explain her disappearing. You know, like how did she get in that tank? That's
Well,
what my
that's
brain's
another
trying to
thing.
wrap
When she
around.
goes in the elevator and she looks out and she peers, I've seen the video. Like I said, she's talking, she's doing stuff, she's hitting buttons, she's acting scared, she's ducking, she's popping her head out. When the elevator comes up to the next floor, the police officers watch just some video, like very, very with a lot of scrutiny. They literally look at each floor, and she never gets off this elevator, all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom, and the elevator doesn't even go to the roof. So when she went in that elevator for the last time, the doors did finally shut. See, when she was pressing the buttons, even though she was in the elevator was not shutting either. The doors wouldn't shut, but there was nothing blocking the doors, even though she was in and out of the doors. But when that elevator went up, they looked at every video of every floor. Every time the door opens, no one. Shuts, no one. Opens, shuts. They even checked the roof access of the top floor of the elevator, how you can like go through the little ducts and stuff up there. If you look at the elevator, you got the little fake ceiling. There was no tampering. There was nothing. When that elevator door finally shut after all that weird stuff happened, she literally vanished and then appeared later in this water tank dead. And it's just really weird to me that a mental illness does affect you, and it can cause you to do crazy stuff. I mean, what we think's crazy. But for her just to vanish like that, I want to know how she got off that elevator. Let's say she did have a mental illness. Let's say she did kill herself. How did she do it without any video picking her up at any time? And why was the lobby video distorted but nothing else was? Who was she talking to? What was she running from? Why was she ducking in and out of that elevator? That's what I'm thinking. She was running from some kind of demonic influence.
I definitely agree with you on that. I feel like there's something more missing that we don't understand, but I would really like to understand. I like clarity, and my brain's trying to not derail, but pick apart what exactly caused her to get in that tank.
Well, I want to know how she got there. I want to know where she vanished from on the elevator. How did she get from the elevator to the tank? I mean, this is the kind of stuff I want to talk about tonight. Here's another case, okay? I believe L29 has a few as well. Here's another case. Brian Schaefer, 2006. A medical student walked into a Columbus, Ohio bar. It's videoed. There's video cameras all around this bar, all around entrances, exits, in the bar, everywhere. With a single entrance and exit. It doesn't have but one entrance, one exit, in and out, one place. He was caught on camera entering the bar, but never seen leaving. Well, he went missing. Well, police found no evidence of him leaving. So when they go to the bar, they pull the footage. Well, the man never left the bar. The bar is this little tiny hole in the wall bar. But Brian never exited the door. He's missing to this day. So he goes into this bar. The cameras see him. They see him walking into the corner, and then a bunch of people get in the way and everything, and then he just seems to just disappear. There's no hidden doors. There's no hidden walls. There's no, chopping up bodies, hiding them in the bricks. There's no basement. He's never seen exiting the building, and so that's the police. And the police literally look at these people and they vanish. The police watch this footage like without fast forwarding it, just straight up, really watching this footage. But he's never been seen again. He never left the bar. Where did he go? His body's never been found either.
This crap's creepy, dude. Like, what's going on that we're not seeing?
So L29, thoughts on that? Tadpole, what's your thought? I mean, I heard what you said just then, but how is this happening? How does this guy go into a bar and he's filmed and they see it and they got footage on every entrance, every exit, which is only one. The whole bar is surrounded by cameras, but this man never leaves, but he's disappeared for life. How does this happen? Where is he at? Where's he going?
What if there's alcohol involved? I mean, it is a bar. What if somebody?
But how does he
involved.
disappear without a trace? This is what I'm saying. There's vanishings that are happening, and these people are missing, and upon entry of the film, he was looking behind him like something was following him. But he goes inside this bar and he never is seen again. He never is seen exiting the bar. There's no windows or anything. There's no way out of this place. What happened to him?
Do you think he may have gotten abducted?
I don't know. This is what I'm saying. What is the deal here? Okay. How does this guy go into a bar? He's 27 years old. He goes to the Tuna Saloon bar with friends. He was last seen on security footage entering the bar, but was never recorded leaving. Baffling. Theories range from him leaving voluntarily, getting into trouble, foul play, but there's been no definitive evidence. The last sighting was him entering and never exiting. There's no footage of him exiting through the main entrance. While the service exit existed, no one reported seeing him, and he wasn't on camera. Schaefer was reportedly struggling with his mother's recent death and had plans for a spring break trip with his girlfriend. Making a voluntary disappearance seemed like very, I don't think so. Foul play. There is no body. There is no evidence. There is no blood. There is nothing. Accident. There is no body. There is no blood. There's no construction zones. Some people say, well, he was drunk, wandered in a construction zone, maybe fell in a manhole. Never found him. Some people say the smiley face killer might have got him. A popular theory links him to the serial killer case, but it's unconfirmed. The case remains open and is one of Ohio's most puzzling missing person cases of all time. The police continue to receive tips, but none have provided a breakthrough. This case has been renewed and attention has been brought in, and podcasts and social media, everybody talks about this, the disappearance of Brian Schaefer. Is this a dimensional shift? Is this a portal? Is this demonic? Is this abduction? How are these people vanishing in mid-air and thin sight? How are these people disappearing right in front of people's faces, right in front of everybody, and on video? Give me your thoughts, guys.
I don't even know what to say to that, man. It's like the good Lord above is just telling them, it's their time, but then somebody else is getting them at the same time. I don't
know. I think there has got to be something mysterious and creepy going on there, because people don't just vanish. Especially, you said this guy's going on a spring break trip with his girlfriend, so he's wanting to get his mind off his mom passing away, but there's no way he's just going to vanish without a trace.
Well, the thing is like, okay, have you ever heard of Brandon Swanson? 2008. While driving home, Brandon Swanson's car went into a ditch. Okay, so he called his parents to pick him up, say, hey, I drove into a ditch, I'm fine, had a little accident. During the phone call, Brandon subtly screamed, "Oh shit!" and the call ended. He was never found. The location of the call was completely rural. He was completely sober, and it is one of the most chilling cases of someone vanishing while actively talking on the phone. Where did he go? They've never found a body, a drag mark, a bear, a claw, nothing. Where did this guy go? What did he see? Do you see? There's so many cases of these vanishing people that's happening that we don't understand how this is happening. Now, I'm not saying that there's not killers out here. There's someone not taking these people, but who is it? Who's taking these people? Who is killing them, abducting them? Any thoughts on that case there? I mean, what did this guy possibly see? He didn't just say, "Oh shit," and then just hang up the phone. He just hung up the phone. He didn't say, "Oh shit, there's somebody about to get me." Nothing. Just, "Oh shit, phone's dead."
It could be wildlife, could be a cryptid.
Cryptid, skinwalker behavior. What do you guys think? Is this abduction? Is this aliens? Is this is a phenomenon. I don't know if you guys realize this, but people vanishing like this and dying in weird ways like this is a phenomenon that is worldwide, but mainly it's focused a lot in the United States. There's a lot of people that die and have strange behavior, like the death of Kanika Jenkins. She was found dead in a walk-in freezer at the Crown Plaza Chicago Hotel after attending a party. Surveillance footage showed a disoriented Jenkins wandering the hotel quarters alone for hours. Like, I saw the video. This woman's just walking aimlessly like she's under some kind of influence, and just not drugs per se, but something, I don't know. It's like she's possessed. I mean, or she's being led. So she's walking around and she's believed to be stalking herself. Her death was ruled an accident, but the haunting footage of her last hours, it's speculated that it's similar to the Lamb case, where she's acting strange. There's something following her. It's like something's after her. And then she's wandering these halls trying to get away from something. And then she's found dead in this freezer. I just find it hard to believe that this is just a rare incident that occurs once in a while. I believe that this is something that is a phenomenon that's happening more and more and more. And also with these bodies that are found. These bodies that are found have no evidence of sexual assault, no evidence of foul play, and these people who are seemingly healthy, great individuals that have great lives. Of course, we don't know people suffer, but these people really don't have the underlying factors of suicide, even though they're hard to find, and we can't disclose, not discount that, but they have no reason to do this in this fashion, but yet they're winding up dead in these water tanks and these freezers. They found people in fryer bins and ovens, just like they did it to themselves. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Is this some kind of phenomenon? Is this all mental illness, or is this a phenomenon that is starting to spread wider and wider in the world or the United States that we live in? I want you guys to really speculate on this.
I think that it's becoming a bigger phenomenon, that I feel like there's more than one thing involved with this, you know? I feel like it's got to do with the Mandela, or we're always talking about that one episode. I believe it's got something to do with that, plus the demon conspiracies. I feel like on top of that, it's also a conspiracy theory. Like, what if it's really someone else doing it to these people and just making it look weird? I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, man.
It definitely.
Well, give me your wildest theories, guys. I want to know, like in your deepest, darkest corners. L29, go ahead. What do you think is this a phenomenon? Is this cryptid behavior with like the outside? Is this just something that's happening? What are these people doing? Why are they doing it? Why are they vanishing? Why are they showing up later? In some instances, they're gone forever.
Obviously, each case is different. I do believe that some of them are just purely mental illness. There's definitely some that include cryptid activity, demonic possession, and honestly, you saying that these folks end up in a freezer or in a fryer, an oven, it just makes me think of cannibalism, which that could account for some of it as well.
Now that's a creepy thing, cannibalism. That is something that does happen, and there's people that do it to this day. And some people sell themselves online to these sadists and cannibals to have stuff happened to them and they sell their bodies. I'll tell you another cryptid-like or feral person story that I find very, very, very odd. Okay. Mari Murray in 2004, a nursing student disappeared. She crashed her car. She called the police. The police said, "We're 3 minutes out. We'll be there right now." And you could hear the sirens on the 911 call through the phone. Only minutes passed, literally 3 minutes, between the crash and the arrival of police because there was a substation down the road, but she was gone. She had reportedly looked up directions for a vacation days before, packed her bags. Nobody knows why she was going there, and the case is unsolved. And this young woman has never been seen. And in New Hampshire, there's not like wild mountain lions running around here. Okay, and she's in a wooded area. I'm thinking that's another cryptid snatch. Okay, missing 411. I'm thinking that something got her, something snatched her. That guy that we talked about earlier, he got snatched. He was on the phone and said, "Oh, you know," and then he got snatched. I don't think that there is a connection with all of them, but the elevator, if you guys see that video, and I'll share the link on the Facebook group, you guys have to see that. This woman is not a drug addict. She's not got a known history. She's this very bright woman, and she's running from something. You could see it. You could see it in her eyes and stuff like that. There are many reports of people that get attacked as well. A girl named Jessica Chambers, she was found severely burned after her car was set on fire, with evidence that gasoline has been poured on her, right? Well, paramedics discovered her walking along the road, still on fire. The only part of her body that wasn't burned was the soles of her feet. She later died from her injuries. Police identified a suspect, but did not have enough evidence to pursue the conviction. The paramedics who responded were deeply affected, later speaking about the trauma and so forth. She tried to name her attackers, but her injuries were so severe that she couldn't be clearly understood. However, footage from a neighbor shows this woman lighting herself on fire with precision tack, i.e., it looked like the gas can floated above her head, dumps on top of her. This isn't AI. This isn't CGI. This is actual what happened. And then she literally doesn't light a match, nothing. She just spontaneously combusts. And the gas can comes out of the trunk. She opens the trunk. The video shows the gas can kind of floating over her head, and she's literally on fire the next minute. But if we wouldn't have seen her walking down the road, we'd just have been another disappearing case. I want to know, like, these disappearances and these vanishes in broad daylights, are they murders or the woman that caught herself on fire? We would have just chalked that up as another missing case, right? But we see, how did she catch on fire? How did that gas can lift over her head? How did somebody's footage just be pointed right at her to see it? There's a phenomenon that's going on with these vanishing cases, these murders, the woman in the elevator, the water jug and all that stuff. It just has got me very perplexed. And I just wanted to know if you guys ever heard of this at all or studied it or anything. If you've ever heard of these kind of cases before.
I've heard of.
And what's your initial thoughts on them? Go ahead, L29. Let's elaborate. What cases have you heard of, and what are the circumstances?
I've heard of a couple of the ones you had brought up earlier, such as Elisa Lamb and the Hotel Cecil, which is definitely rife with a lot of disappearances and kind of freaky stuff there. Another good disappearance story from my home state here in West Virginia would be the Solder children disappearance. Have y'all heard about that?
I have heard about it, but I'm going to let you go ahead and tell the story. This is a pretty spooky one, Tadpole. Check this out.
All right. So on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1945, a fire destroyed the Sauter residence in Fayetteville, West Virginia. At the time, it was occupied by George Sauter, his wife, and 9 of their 10 children. During the fire, George, Jenny, and 4 of the 9 children escaped. The bodies of the other 5 children have never been found. The surviving Sauter family believed for the rest of their lives that the 5 missing children survived. The Sauters never rebuilt the house, instead converting the site into a memorial to the lost children. In the 50s, as they came to doubt that the children had perished, the family put up a billboard along State Route 16 with pictures of the 5 children, offering a reward for information that would bring closure to the case. It remained standing until shortly after Jenny's death in '89. In support of the belief that the children survived, Sauters had pointed to a number of unusual circumstances before and during the fire. George disputed the Fayetteville Fire Department's finding that the blaze was electrical in origin, noting he had recently had the house rewired and inspected. George and his wife suspected arson, leading to theories that the children had been taken by the Sicilian Mafia. It's believed to possibly be in retaliation to George's outspoken criticism of the fascist government of his native Italy. State and federal efforts to investigate the case further early in the 50s yielded no new information. The family did, however, later receive what may have been a picture of one of the boys as an adult in the 60s. Their last surviving daughter, Sylvia, along with their grandchildren, continued to publicize the case in the 21st century in media and online.
Huh.
Now, that's another case where there's this horrible, devastating fire, but there's no bodies. They can't find them. Well, the bodies burned up. We all know that bones do not really burn, not in a house fire. There's been many people trying to cover up many murders. That's right. And so where do these children go? They were definitely not dead. And if they were dead, where were their bodies? They should have at least found something. And the Fayetteville police, fires have been fought for how many years? Fire investigators are, detectives and fire investigators are almost ancient because fires have been investigated since, I don't even know, like the 1700s, at least the 1800s, like 1827 and stuff. So these fire investigators are very, very good at their job. They know how to investigate fires. They know that bone doesn't really burn that well. I mean, you could burn bone, but even at a crematorium, what do they do with the bone? They crush it, right? You know? It's just ominous of this disappearance. Like, it's just weird that, like, okay, let's go back to the elevator case. Okay, Lamb was last seen alive January 31st, 2013. Shortly after, it was recorded on February 19. Then they complained about the low water pressure. So she was last seen alive after the elevator footage was recorded. So she was alive after. A lot of people say, well, it's mental health, but she had no history of that. A lot of people say drugs. She had no history of that. Autopsy reports show no drugs in her body. Autopsy reports show no sexual trauma. But a lot of people, a lot of mediums and psychics and influencers, they're saying that so now I'm going to give you guys a whole nother perspective on this. And this is that influence thing I was talking about. Severe mental health crisis due to severe mental health crisis due to paranormal influence. Now, I'm thinking that paranormal influence is what happened here. Let's look at the roof access. How did she manage to access the roof? Give me your opinion on how she would have done that, Tadpole.
I mean,
Just put yourself in a situation. You've been in hotels. Pretend you just
There's a
tell me how
roof
you get on the
hatch.
roof. Just tell me what you do. Okay.
There's a there's a roof hatch
So walk
with
me through that process.
with a ladder to it or stairs, and that's how I would get up there.
Okay. And even if it's on the
there's always
inside
a
of the
roof
building,
hatch.
correct? Now, mind you, this is a multiple story. Okay, so now L29, walk me. How do you get up there?
As Deadpool said, that's how most cases would be. Have my own suspicions on how she may have gotten up there, but it's not logical. I think.
Well, let's go with that in just a second. Let's hold on. Don't forget that. Let's look at the roof access. She accessed a locked and alarmed roof. Okay, this roof had an alarm on it. It was locked. It was secured. It was also tagged. They put tags on these roofs because of where this place is at. They have a lot of ward towers up there. She was like a 120-pound woman. She was found inside of a 500-pound lid, like a 400-pound lid tank. Heavily lidded tank. Okay. How did she even open the tank? How did she get on the roof? How did she, get up there? Now, she was bipolar. She did have bipolar disorder, but she did not have manic bipolar. She had the bipolar disorder with severe depression because her family has released some of her medical. She did not have the bipolar disorder that made you like angry and mean. I mean, there's many levels of bipolar. I have people that are bipolar in my family. This video is so weird in the way she got on the roof. Now, what's your thought on the unnatural way, L29? How does she get on this roof?
Well, without setting off an alarm or anything, I believe she may have supernaturally kind of phased through something.
Phased through. Now, see, that's like the guy at the bar, Brian Schaefer. Does he phase through another dimension? Did he get shifted? Did he get abducted? Did she just dissipate? If she is demonically influenced or oppressed or afflicted, can she not manifestate herself on the other side of that roof? And can she not use telekinesis to lift that lid up and get inside that drum? Now, what was she doing? Drowning herself? Was she purposefully killing herself? Was she placed there? Did she awake from a dream and struggle? Well, here's the rub. Usually, certain things happen in certain ways with deaths and suicides and stuff like that. The way she was found was floating, and she was naked. They couldn't even find her clothes. So she willingly took her clothes off and got in this tub. Well, she didn't slit her wrist or anything. Drowning is one of the most heinous ways to die, but the body fights drowning. Scientifically, if you try to go underwater and you're going to kill yourself with drowning, your body's going to struggle and convulse and try to come back up for air. It's a natural reaction. There was no sign of struggle in that tank, no fingernail marks, nothing. It's funny to me in not a comical way, but strange and unusual in the sense that these people get killed or go vanishing, like the freezer. This woman gets in a freezer and dies. How does she get in the freezer? The freezers have latches up all the way from the 70s, man. Freezers have escape things that you press to get, in case they lock you in to rob you. I mean, there's freezers have been had since people have gotten hurt in these freezers. They have had freezer safety hatches where you could unlock the freezer. You can't lock someone in a freezer unless you lock it. This woman was in that O'Hare freezer and she was in there and it was not locked. She could have came out anytime she wanted, but she was found frozen to death inside. I want to know how this is happening and why this phenomenon. What's up with these vanishing people? Why, when people go missing in the National Forest, that the National Forest Park Rangers don't report these people missing, just that they have, they're not reported. They're reported as...
What if when these people go missing, per se, the rangers and stuff don't notice it themselves? What if they are
No, I believe they're complicit, and they're not listed as missing. They're listed as just not around, or whatever that word is. I can't remember.
They're in on it.
They're not missing. Well, they don't list them. Yeah, they're in on it. That's right. They're not missing. They're just permanently unlocated. And I believe that's cryptid stuff. Because I believe the national parks have always and forever were created, to preserve natural beauty, but I believe they were created to preserve the cryptid population. Sasquatch, hairy man, dog man, the hairy one, the sheep squatch, the booger. I believe these national parks are natural habitats to protect these creatures so they have a place to hunt and be and migrate. And I believe they have been since the national park was created. Because at the time, yes, we're going to preserve this beauty, but this was the time of when the natural rape of the land was common, and nobody really cared about that. People weren't planting trees for trees. Nobody cared about that kind of stuff. They would just shoot buffalo in the millions and just leave them there on the side of the plains, right? So they're in on it. That's right. Give me your elaboration in on it, L29.
I'd say they'd have to be in on it because they keep people away from certain spots in these state parks, and it can't all be because, oh, this area is too difficult to traverse. You just put a sign up for that, and if people want to go explore it, whatever, but these rangers are out there actively keeping people out of certain locations.
And they are. And if you ever, and you know, when they do these, they go in these national forests, that's public property, and your taxes pay for it and all that. And they go in these places, and the people are doing like Sasquatch hunts and stuff like that. They're not hurting nothing. They got their video cameras out. They're doing calls. Have you guys ever seen this? And the National Park Service in white unmarked vehicles comes out and runs these people out of there. And they're not even paying to go. Like, these people are all there voluntarily doing, whooping calls and, all the stuff that Sasquatch hunters do. And do you know that they run these people off voluntarily that show up? They go out there and run them off. These people have paid no money. They have paid no money to be there. They have paid nobody anything to participate. They are just part of this group that goes out there. And these national forest agents come out there in white unmarked SUVs and run these people out of there. Have you guys heard about that?
I have not.
Anybody? Yeah. Have you heard about that, Richard? When we were talking about it?
I remember you bringing it up earlier, but I don't have any knowledge of it myself.
Well, it does have, and it was funny that you said they're in on it, because it's like, give me your guys' thoughts on, is this a phenomenon, or is this just, okay, this is creepy, but this is just random, occurrences, or there's nothing super. What's your guys' pretty much thoughts on this? Like, I want to know what your thoughts on this, why I looked this one thing up about this national park thing. I want you guys to tell me what's your thoughts on, this is a phenomenon, or is this just a random coincidence?
Go ahead.
I believe it has to do with cryptids mostly, but as we all know, that state parks have been dump sites for serial killers as well, so there's at least some of that, but I think the majority of these missing people is some cryptid activity.
Agreed. I believe it's something to do with cryptid and, some of these demons and things of that sort. I believe it's a whole bunch of stuff, man. I feel like they all go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, in the Buffalo, in the there's a park. People are saying that it's illegal to do it because they're not paying permits and stuff like that. But the Buffalo National River, a lot of people go there because there's a hot spot. The GCBRO have been shooting there. They have been going there. They have been taking research groups in there without making them pay, and park regulations are restricted from camping outside designated areas or conducting sensitive protecting wilderness area searches. Despite restrictions like Olympic National Park and Buffalo National River, Arkansas, Washington, the Appalachian Mountains, these park rangers are telling you it is illegal to do Bigfoot hunts inside the park. But you can go and look at birds, whatever. But if you are actively hunting for Bigfoot, actively making calls, they're going to say you don't have a permit, you don't have this, you don't have that. And there are videos of these people literally running these people off. Literally, you could see this on YouTube. You could see it Mount Rainier. You could see the Buffalo River. You can see all these places, national forests in North Carolina. There are many cases where these people are getting run off, and it is prevalent to these vanishings that happen in these national parks, and they're kind of bleeding off into these urban areas where these people are seeing something. So is it cryptid or is it paranormal skinwalker? Is it Wendigo behavior? Is it invisible? Is it demonic? But I will urge you, and I will give you caution. Check out that video of Eliza Lamb. I will put a link on it in our Facebook group. You guys need to watch that video if you're listening to this podcast, because to me, this is more of a phenomenon that is more prevalent and it's happening more and more, but people aren't reporting it. And when they do report it, they only want to report it with video and stuff because it's too strange and too unusual to comprehend or understand. Guys, let me get your final thoughts on tonight.
I think it's very, very scary that anything could happen, you know? I mean, you could just be sitting there and next thing you know, you're gone. So just stay vigilant and keep your eyes peeled.
L29.
Just pay attention. You never know what you'll see out there.
Well, so what really happened to Eliza Lamb? Was it tragic accident, a mind unraveling in a place already filled with darkness, or something else entirely? Because here's the part that sticks with people. That elevator never behaves that way. The doors stay open too long. It's like waiting. Her movements don't feel random. They feel reactive. And maybe that's what makes this story different. Or maybe it's just a tale from the road. Until next time, guys, this has been your guy on the road, L29, Tadpole Trucker. Hit us up. We have the website, talesfromtheroadmedia.com. Your guy, www.yourguyontheroad.com. You can hit us up there. You can see Tadpole, L29. Reach out and say hey to us. If you want to tell us your story, you want to ask questions, you want to be on the air, you want to be part of the discussion. Hey, you want me to read something that happened to you and ask questions or discuss it? It's www.talesfromtheroadmedia.com. www.yourguyontheroad.com. So talesfromtheroadmedia.com, yourguyontheroad.com. Check us out. Be vigilant. Be safe. The truth is out there, guys. Until next time, survive and stay alive. Peace.